Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to my fellow friend AISYAH and AQILAH. So today we are all gathered here to discuss a crucial issue, which is what is the most effective way of dealing with global warming. So without wasting any time, so let's start this discussion. So is anybody want to start this conversation regarding this issue?
I think let me start this discussion. So, good evening, everyone. So we already given a topic, which is temperatures are rising in many parts of the world due to the global warming and ways to solve it. So today, as we can see, our temperature keep increasing day by day. For example, we can see that ice in Antarctica start to melting, and because of that, our sea level is also rising. Little that we know, this problem is associated with the number of trees in our Earth. Our Earth's temperature is keep rising due to the lesser number of trees. Trees play a vital role in cooling effect. Without trees, our environment will be a lot more drier and hotter. So I think the best way and the way to cope with this problem is by we need to ensure that more trees are planted to stop the rising issue. So why we need to plant a lot of trees? This is because tree is also known as a natural air conditioner. Trees also cool the air by a process known as transpiration cooling. As trees release water into the atmosphere via transpiration, the surrounding air is cooled as water goes from liquid to vapor. The water that is released in a vapor form, it has a cooling effect on the surrounding area. Because of that, sometimes we feel a lot more cooler when we sit below the tree. And moreover, trees also provide canopies as it will blocking heat of reaching the surface. Trees canopies can intercept for about 90% of the sunlight and the heat that comes from it. Some trees has a wider canopy and wider leaves and wider area that it can cover. And because of that, it is a very effective and more efficient because more leaf then more transpiration cooling. For example, beeches, which is a type of tree, can block up to 97% of sunlight that falls on them. Another example is tropical tree, which is to have a huge leaf and also sufficient for cooling effect. With less heat reaching below the tree's canopy, the temperature stays low. So that's why we feel cool when we around the trees. So I think that's why we need to plant a lot more trees as it will cool our environment. So what about you, Aisha?
Thank you, Aqilah. In my point, which I choose penalize factories that contribute to air pollution. In today's world, a lot of factories have been built to increase the economy of the countries by producing a lot of products, but it impacts the air pollution around us. And also, courts have often been seen as soft on polluters, hesitating to penalize harshly. And why I choose penalize the factories is to stop the from all the factories. When the higher organization said they want to penalize, the companies will try to follow the procedure that have been created by the country. And also, factories will try to reduce their activities by optimizing their operation to save the energy and reduce the facilities' overall emission. Next reason, it is because industrial factories have played a big part in the amount of air pollution that we as people have to endure. As economy grows, the number of factories also increase and leads to increasing the pollution. The toxic gases that factories release into the air, combined with those added by the automobiles on the road, it increases the risk of developing chronic disease and also increase the temperature, which surely increase the illness. That's all for me. What about you, Syahmi?
Okay, thank you. So let me state my point. From my perspective, I think educate the public about how to reduce global warming is the most effective action to be taken. I have two main reasons. My first reason is our planet is currently got damaged by our own hand. So the government must take a wise action by launching a public talk and spreading flyers on how to reduce the global warming. This action will give an actual knowledge or actual understanding on how our planet works and how to keep the earth safe. So my second reason is a young generation is the only hope for the better future. For example, if we take a closer look into the school sector, the teacher can play a major role on educational field. So they can create an activity like distribute educational poster and videos, or they can make a multimedia presentation at school about the side effect of the global warming to our beloved planet. In short, a better environment future require a better awareness for the future generation. In other words, we have to engage the children first. So, do you guys have any other point to add? So that's all from me.
No.
I also have no point to add, and it seems that no one have any other point to add. That we thought, let we discuss, let we start our discussion on what is the most effective way to reduce the rising temperature. So temperatures are rising in many parts of global warming, and all of us have already given specific tips to solve the problem. What are the most effective way in dealing with the problem of rising temperature? In my opinion, the best way to deal with this problem is penalize the factories. Like I said before, factories are major polluters, and by penalizing them, such as shoe and jail penalty, they might feel triggered and try to follow the act. This result in better air quality. And I disagree with Shahmi point. This is this is because if we educate the pupil, it is just an education that they can do nothing because the pollution is not majority from them. Maybe yes, because they are using cars and some toxic in air came from the cars, but that cannot stop them from using the car because they always need cars in their daily life. Other than that, if we try to plant more trees, it is a good decision and important to make, but it's still the same because at the same time, people are taking away the tree for furniture and need it for economic sectors, and it seems that nothing might improve. But by penalizing the factories, it can give greater impact in improving our air quality, better than educating the people and better than plants the trees. That's all from me. How about you, Aqilah?
Okay, thank you, Aisha, for your opinion. So let me start, and so let me continue. In my opinion, the best way and the most effective way to deal with rising temperature is also to penalize factory that contribute to air pollution. I choose this method because factory also plays a huge role in contributing to air pollution. This factory also releases a huge amount of gases that is dangerous and high in temperature. And I know that they usually release this gas during night because it is the most safe way. And because of that, we always feel our surrounding is getting hotter during night instead of getting cooler. So I feel that penalizing the factory is necessary because some of these factory underlook about the situation. We should ban those factory that done this so that it can make them to stop from operating. Penalizing a few factories will make them realize that releasing gas to the environment is a big deal. This factory owner should be responsible by trying to putting air filter, which is this air filter will filter out the dangerous gases, so then it will release the non-toxic or non-dangerous gases only to the environment. And we can penalize the factory's owner by giving fines to the by giving fines at least 20,000 ringgit or even jail. By penalizing them, this will be a warning for other factories to not release a toxic or dangerous gas into the environment. As the temperature will be dropped because some of the factory will stop operating, especially in the city area. So this area will become a lot more cooler and the air will become a lot more clearer. And for the other point, I feel like planting will take a lot of time because trees need to grow. And while for the educating people is also important, but I think it also will take time because we also will work with people and not all people will understand this problem, and it is hard to discuss about this issue with some people. So I think that's why I choose the um, penalizing factory to that contribute to air pollution.
Okay, thank you, Aqilah. So, I think I don't quite agree with Aisyah's point just now. It is because our country economy is also based on factory produce development, and in Malaysia we have a lot of factory. In my personal point of view, by penalizing factories, it will slow down the process of rising and restoring our economy. There is a guarantee that the factory will got penalized. They will repeat the same mistake again because our country must keep going active to produce needed supply for the people. So I think, in my point of view, my point is the best because by educating the factory superior and staff, it will give more benefit in positive way other than aggressive action that will distribute we will disturb our development economy. There is also another way to reduce pollution from from factory by training and educating the factory on how to manage the waste, especially gas waste management to the environment to save Earth from the global warming. So, what do you what do you guys think?
Yes, you are right, Syahmi. By training and educating the factories, we can reduce the pollution from the factories. But not all factories are willing to follow the procedure to reduce the pollution that has been created by higher organization. That is why we still need to inform the public about penalizing the factories. It is important to let them know about our current situation. We need to penalize these factories so that it will give them warning about the negative impact to the environment that they have done. Thus, in time, they will follow the right procedure, like filter those several dangerous gases before releasing it. And by penalizing the factory, maybe they will still do the same thing, but time by time, they will get tired and follow the rules. If they still hesitate to follow the rules and act even though they have been penalized multiple times, of course the penalization will get stricter towards them. That's all for me.
Oh, now I see what are you trying to say. On the second thought, I think I might change my mind That's a good point, by the way, Aisha. What do you think, Akilah?
Yes, I think that is a good way. So, Syahmi, I want to add, before this, you mentioned that our country was based on factory, right? So, I think I would just want to clear out something by just because we penalize factory, it doesn't mean it will affect our economy drastically because if we just by penalizing them, maybe they will stop operating for a few months so that maybe they can put the air filter or fix their company producing system. So and then that's why I think we need to penalize the factory because their acts can destroy our world and our environment. And with the issue regarding with the rising temperature at our earth is not only affecting human, but it's also affecting animal and even plant. So without plant, we cannot live in this world. So I'm sure you guys agree, right? Because it affects human and others organism. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes, I
Yes.
strongly agree with that.
So I'm sure. In conclusion, the best way to cope with the rising temperature issue is by penalizing factory that contribute to air pollution. And we already have come to a conclusion as we all agree that penalizing factories that contribute to air pollution is the most effective way in dealing with the problem of rising temperature. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.